Here we have Captain America number 12. I think this is like volume 10 or something like that of the series. But the legacy numbering up there, way up there, kind of hard to see, is number 762. If you count it from Captain America number 100, which came out in like 1968, well, this would be number 762. Which makes it easier when you're trying to put them all in order. Anyway, this issue came out on August 28th, 2024, although I'm actually recording this the day before August 27th because it came in the mail today because I have a subscription to Captain America. Now, I've reviewed the 2 previous issues of this series on my YouTube channel already, so if you want to watch those, maybe I'll put links in the description below. But anyways, I'm enjoying this series. Sometimes you think, like, I'm not sure about this series, because the tone is very different than what you would expect for a normal Captain America story because of the sort of supernatural or fantasy flavor to this particular storyline. It's written by J. Michael Straczynski and drawn by Jesus Saiz. There are the credits right there. And I like both of their work. Have enjoyed their comics before. This cover by Torrin Clark, I'm not that sure about it. It seems kind of oddly bland looking to my eyes. Like it's missing something. Doesn't seem very action oriented. Cap even looks kind of like weird. The funny thing is he doesn't appear in costume in this whole story, I don't think. Or I think there's one panel where it's like a flashback where he is in costume. For the most part, he's just Steve Rogers in this issue. Anyways, of all the covers they could have picked, they have so many variant covers and so forth, you would think they would have saved something this lackluster looking for a variant cover and give us something a little cooler for the regular cover A. The issue is $4.99. And for that price, you get like 20 pages of story. So it costs $1 more than your typical $3.99 comic. But some of the flagship or the main Marvel series now, like Amazing Spider-Man and so forth, are $4.99. Although some of them, like Hulk and Fantastic Four and Avengers, aren't. They're only $3.99. So I don't know how they decide that. But anyways, it says The Last Stand of the Front Door, Part 1, which kind of struck me as odd because, this isn't Part 1, or, maybe this is the Part 1 of The Last Stand, but we've been having this Front Door Cabaret storyline for the last few issues. The art is really good, as always. I knew that, it was going to be really good. Now, a month ago, Marvel had put up, they had on the AIPT Comics news website, there was a preview of this issue that had a few of these pages, although I think they were wordless before the word balloons had gotten put in. So I had looked at those like a month ago, but, it seemed like it's picking up from where it left off last issue, with Steve Rogers having gotten these change agents, and then they're going to all go to the Front Door Cabaret to be able to fight Death, who's like the brother of the woman that runs the Front Door Cabaret, Lyra or something like that is her name. This is her right here. And so they're on their way. Right now they're in Chicago. They're going to be going back to New York. So Steve Rogers reads a letter that he received from her. She has a secret. Now here's it was kind of funny. This little bit here kind of made me think, aha, now I know why this is a Captain America story. Because this woman who works for one of the change agents people had said, why are you going to do this? You're fighting Death. There's no way you can win against Death. And he brings up his experiences, the flashback I mentioned, where Cap is actually in costume. he mentioned, oh, you know what? He might be in costume at the end here too. But I forgot about that. But he mentions that sometimes you have to do things even though you know there's a low possibility of you actually winning, but because it has to be done. And he brings up like his wartime experience. So I thought, well, that sort of relates to, because sometimes when you're reading this, you think, why is this a Captain America story? But it sort of connects with that. And then you have the death personified guy here, who like just touches someone and they die. Now, this is sort of his flashback sequence of how he came to be. Lyra is the sister, and that's him. Really nice art here. And it starts out presenting him as like a sympathetic figure. This is sort of maybe the main, sort of the pivotal page, I guess, here. Sort of showing that death, was meant to be a comfort to man. He was, and also punishing those who, were evil. But then, because of the horrors of the 20th century, World War I and Stalin and Hiroshima and so on, all these people died. That's just too much. And now death, I guess, is wondering whether humanity is worth saving. Now, the funny thing is, when I was reading some of these, like, it says Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 120,000 killed in 2.3 seconds. I actually stopped reading this for about a half hour, the comic. I stopped reading for about a half hour because I was like, let me see, is that correct? So I went on Wikipedia, and it was like, I don't think 120, I think that was like the total, there's sort of dispute of how many actually were killed, or how much, because it wasn't like 2.3 seconds. A lot of people died instantly, but a lot of people, because of radiation, took a while to die. So I don't think this is 100% accurate. But that was Wikipedia. So, by the way, I thought this was a neat little ad. This, an Ultimate, a universe unlike any other. It's sort of an ad for the Ultimate line of Marvel Comics, October 2024. It just shows the 4 most recent issues of the Ultimate line. And I thought this was a nice little ad because it was sort of like a throwback to the types of ads that Marvel used to have back in the day, where it would show, 4 covers, or 3 covers, or whatever, 2 covers of current issues. And they don't really seem to have that sort of thing anymore. Anyways, there was another little bit here that I wanted to bring up, and I don't want to show the whole comic because I want you to buy it, because it is worth getting. I enjoyed the issue. But this change agent guy, I forgot what his name is, says, isn't this, because he gives them these rings that Lyra had given Steve Rogers. Oh, he is in costume already, so I was wrong about that. Lyra had given him these rings to give to the change agents as a sort of form of protection for them. And this guy says, isn't this how Frodo ended up walking into a world of trouble? Because that story didn't end well at all. And then Cap says, Star Wars, right? And he says, don't even try. So when I read that, I was like, where's my no prize? Because I mentioned this in a previous video. This is my tattered copy of Avengers number 46, where we see Captain America. Quicksilver says to him, say, Cap, why don't the 2 of us go on to one of your baseball grounds, or baseball games? And he says, fine, as soon as I finish this chapter of Tolkien. I always was a sucker for far out fantasy. So there is Steve Rogers reading Tolkien. So he knows who Frodo is, I believe. So either, I guess, a no prize, though, is for if you find a logical reason for why it's not a mistake. So let us just pretend that he knew who Frodo is, and he's just messing with this guy. Anyways, well, the thing is, this Lyra person, she had brought this up before in a previous issue, that Captain America needs a home. He's looking for a home and sort of a way to sort of no longer have to, fight the endless battle for truth and justice in the American way. He can find a home and live a normal life and stuff like that. So she's going to be offering this to him, that, once this battle is over, he can, find a home and with her, I guess, or the Front Door Cabaret, and won't have to be Captain America anymore. Well, obviously that's not going to happen. Unless, maybe they decide to kill off Captain America. Maybe that's what this is leading to. But I don't know. Again, killing off Captain America again. But the expression on his face is sort of a blank expression. Like, as he's reading this, is he agreeing with her? Is he skeptical of her? And it kind of makes me wonder, is she really all she claims to be? Maybe she's, maybe she's going to trick him or something. Maybe there's going to be a twist to the plot. Who knows? This, by the way, was a really funny Deadpool parody advertisement. Like, sort of, where you would get these army men, and stuff like that. Well, this had a whole bunch of... it was like a funny Deadpool ad. I forgot to mention when I did a review of Namor #2 last week that they also had a Deadpool parody ad that was like a takeoff on the Charles Atlas ad, which was really funny. So anyways, but this one was even funnier, I thought. So they're on their way to New York. Now the thing is, I don't want to spoil what's going to happen next, but it becomes sort of a thing where Death uses ordinary people to sort of take them over, and they become his army to be able to prevent Cap and the Change Agents from going to the Front Door Cabaret. He's not going to let them reach that destination. So that's what next issue is going to be about. And then there's an ad for next issue, next Captain America #13. And it was kind of strange that it was like this. I actually read this page before I read the rest of the issue because I just wanted to jump ahead. In fact, I actually wanted to see if they had a letter page in the back, because so far during this entire run, all 12 issues, they've only had one letter page, which is, one issue had a letter page in it. And I really think Captain America deserves to have a letter page so people can discuss this stuff and maybe get a no prize. But it says, as the Krakoan era ends, mutants need allies more than ever, and Captain America is determined to get his group of mutant change agents to the Front Door Cabaret alive. As Death pulls out all the stops to destroy them, Captain America has a choice: protect the change agents or protect his own future. Well, obviously he's going to protect the change agents, right? But one of the rescued mutants has their own ideas and intends to make the decision for him. And that's probably her, the one who's going to betray him. But anyways, I thought that was odd that it was like, the Krakoan era ends, mutants. So it was like, is this going to be some sort of X-Men crossover thing? But it certainly doesn't read that way. This seems sort of disconnected from the rest of the Marvel universe at the moment. Even Death doesn't seem to be like the Death that, the Thanos-related Death figure, that he's in love with or whatever, because it's a male figure. So, I really like the art. One thing that struck me, I think in a previous video I had mentioned that Jesus Saiz has a sort of a European style to his art that is really cool. But this, for the first time, made me think of Rich Corbin, the artist probably best known for drawing for Creepy magazine back in the 70s. But had it, it's obviously not like airbrushed and stuff like Rich Corbin did, but when he did black and white work, it has that sort of feel to it. I did think in this one panel that Steve Rogers is kind of drawn a little too puny. Captain America should be a little bigger than these people. But that was just one minor complaint. Maybe it's the angle. So anyways, I really enjoyed the issue. I liked it. When I first started reading it, I wasn't sure, page 1, page 2, I was like, but even despite, the occasional slip up like the Tolkien thing. I really enjoyed it, and it's well drawn. The writing is good. It kind of makes you wonder if, J. Michael Straczynski kind of had this story already, maybe for a different character, and just kind of made it about Captain America instead. Either way, if he thought it was a good story worth doing, it's worth doing. And he is able to relate it to Captain America somehow, through the idea of, sacrifice, and his mission, to sort of, his feeling of obligation to protect people, and then him being a man out of time and so forth. So it's sort of like I've said before, sort of a slow burn, sort of a mellow, low key style to it. It's not something it doesn't have like Mark Waid's cliffhanger endings and things like that are going to be, when Mark Waid wrote Captain America, or someone has like every writer has their own style, and this so I like the sort of thoughtful, quiet approach to this, even though it doesn't deal with issues that I think Captain America, like if Nick Spencer was writing this, you can bet there would be much more of things of like a political aspect, which I think are more appropriate for Captain America, about America itself, race relations and things like that, things that are actually relevant, especially during an election year, but this sort of has more of a fairy tale quality to it, almost sort of like a fantasy that's not really connected to things that are going on in the real world. And maybe that's the idea too, maybe people will like that, but eventually I think we got to get back to the America aspect of it, the thing to make it relevant to things that are going on in the country right now, because that's important too. But it might be a different writer who ends up doing that. I do think Straczynski is telling the story he wants to tell, and I'm in favor of that. So I liked it, really enjoyed it, and looking forward to see what happens next. That's it for me. Thanks for watching.